Welcome to Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the great big small bank. For one of the final times, we're south of Overton. We're back towards Bertrand as we make our way to Peterson and Sons Farms, talking with none other than Creighton Peterson. And Creighton, it is always fun to come out and talk farming with you as we come through maybe not the best of farming years, but one of the most interesting farming years we've had in a while. Hot and dry all the way through, and now today, just as harvest is starting to get rolling, we're in coats and there's a little bit of moisture, so maybe some things looking on the horizon. How have things went though with that hot and dry since we last talked?
Things were pretty tough there, finishing up irrigation. I mean, pivots didn't want to stay running. Didn't seem like anything wanted to keep going. I mean, things finished hard, but we got through it, and I think we got in a couple of irrigated bean fields, and the irrigated actually we were very impressed with.
Good.
Like yields close to what last year brought, but then with them dry lands making close to nothing, I mean, it brought down the averages, but that irrigated yield I think is still there that we saw last year.
So that's right. What we were talking about last time too was the fact that if you had the irrigation, there was a chance coming through. One of the things we were kind of concerned about though was it was also prime if we had any storms. This crop was looking decent if it was under a pivot. Did you encounter any of that, or have we kind of smooth sailed?
We pretty much smooth sailed. We got a little, pea-sized hail on the north side last week, but other than that we've been pretty smooth around everything. I don't know, we've heard of a couple fields that got hit by hail, but none of ours did, luckily.
That is great to hear. Great to hear the fact that early on in the season there was some of that damage, but then things have kind of stayed on your side back through the rest of the year. Now, you're talking about some early bean harvest numbers are looking good. What about on the corn side? What's your early thoughts there where that's still in the field?
We've done some yield estimates, and I think the yield's out there for sure. I don't know, it's hard telling before you get the combine out there. I don't know. We all hope it's there, but I don't know. I guess hopefully next week we can get out in some wet corn and maybe see what the numbers are for sure. But
what's your thoughts? How quickly is this corn drying down? Is it kind of on a normal pace, or with the hot and dry, is it coming down quicker?
Well, I'd say it's either about normal or maybe even a little slower. I don't know. A lot of the corn sat at like half milk line for us for it seemed like 2 weeks almost. It just sat right at half milk line and didn't really move, and now we finally got a few fields sitting at black layer, and 29 moisture. We've tested a couple of fields, but right around 29 moisture is about the driest we got.
Wow, all right, down to 29. That is interesting going forward. And of course, also when it comes to the corn, and we're talking to Creighton Peterson, you were top 3 in the nation last year in the National Corn Growers Yield Contest. It's been a battle this year. Things just haven't quite lined up the way they have in years past. What are your thoughts going in? Is that something to look for this year, or is it one we're just going to take the good we can get?
We're hoping to, I don't know, it's always fun to put an entry out there for it. We're hoping for something good. I think there's a lot of good corn out in the country. I don't know, hopefully we can be up towards the top. It's always just a fun little game between all the farmers, I feel like. But I don't know, we got a couple fields that got some good promising coming in, so I don't know, maybe we'll get a good high number again.
That is great to hear, and one that it's exciting. It's one, the sportsmanship, we know the farming community goes pretty good, but the fact that everybody's still excited despite the challenges we've had this year. Now, you are fairly early on in your operation out on your own in farming, so I'm sure things are in a kind of continual learning process, trying to think about, okay, what do I want to do next year? This worked this year, want to do that again. Was there any big takeaways or anything that you really thought worked for you this year?
I don't know anything in particular that came out of this year. I don't know, irrigation going forward, how to manage that. Our herbicide programs, I don't think we did as good as, I don't know, they didn't seem to work as good for us this year as they have in the past. Maybe change up some herbicide programs for us, or just change up couple different varieties that might get better for us next year.
Again, we're talking with Creighton Peterson, Peterson and Son Farms. Creighton, we appreciate you allowing us to come out to follow you through this year and really giving us the details that you've been able to just to show us, bring us in the farm and walk us through the growing year. But as we start to come out on the year and harvest is getting underway, final closing thoughts, your experience here with Fridays in the Field.
It's been fun, Clay. I'm glad to be able to be a part of it. It'll be interesting watching people go forward with this thing, kind of see how their farms do the Fridays in the Field, but been a lot of fun.
Hey, we've loved having you on, and thank you so much for walking us through and being such a great host and a great steward of the land, showing us everything that you're operating and working on, and just giving us that great, true, in-depth look into American agriculture. And that is Creighton Peterson here on Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the great big small bank.